Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Luke Beller. So apparently Davante Adams in the past day or so did an interview. I think it was with Fox News. It wasn't like a video interview. It was solely just put out in an article. And so I found lots of different interesting topics that Davante Adams did talk about in this article. And so I have a few here to talk about. First off, we're going to go over some things he had to say about the Aaron Rodgers situation. He also talked a little bit about Jordan Love and also his contract talks and sort of how that's gone so far with the Green Bay Packers. So definitely some interesting things, some interesting topics from Davante Adams. If you guys are new to the channel, you want to see more Packers content, that's all I put out on this channel, solely a Packers channel. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you're a Packers fan, you like Packers news, all that kind of stuff, feel free to subscribe to the channel down below and drop a like on the video as well if you guys enjoy it. It really does just help push the video out to, more Packers fans are able to find it when people do like the video. So the first thing he comes in and talks about is with Aaron Rodgers, obviously the hottest topic in Green Bay. When we have a guy who was just MVP, took us to the NFC Championship, and then there's, of course, uncertainty whether or not he is coming back. Everyone, knows the situation. It's been pretty much all it's been talked about in the media for the past couple months. This is one thing he had to say on the situation, Davante Adams. So he says, "I'll be there and I'll be ready to rock," talking about training camp. He said, "Hopefully Aaron will be there as well, and if he's not, we're going to get going," Adams said. "Like I said in the press recently, I back him and I support him whatever he does. It's just kind of how we get down. We've always had each other's backs since I first got here. Like I said, praying that he comes back, but if not, I'll be there and I'll be working." So obviously with Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers building up this relationship that they have built up in the past couple seasons, being one of the best, quarterback wide receiver duos in the NFL, it's no surprise that, Davante Adams has Aaron Rodgers back. Obviously Aaron Rodgers has some concerns and he's trying to get things worked out. The Packers are trying to get things worked out with him, and so he supports Aaron Rodgers, whatever he does decide to do. But at the same time, he's saying, if Aaron isn't here, I hope he's going to come back, which obviously I think all of us Packers fans are hoping Aaron Rodgers will be back. But if not, Davante Adams is going to be there. He's going to be putting in the work because he still, has stuff to get done himself. Then he comes in here and talks about sort of the situation around the locker room. They're asking him about that with the, locker room situation. What are players saying about the situation? All that kind of stuff. This is what Davante Adams had to say. He says, "Honestly, it's not even something that we truly talk about like that. It's just everybody's been dialed into what they got to do. There's enough to worry about with themselves than to be going and worrying about what other guys are doing and what their situation is like, especially when we can't control any of that," he said. "I think everybody's mindset, everybody is going to love Aaron the same way when he returns, and obviously it's been a little bit of a confusing situation, but there hasn't been any negative talk or anything like that. Everybody's behind him." So it makes sense that, players aren't over here, worrying constantly, is Aaron going to be back? Obviously, as I said, players, of course, want Aaron Rodgers back. He's one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the NFL, currently still in 2021. But, of course, all these guys, they have roster spots to make. They're competing, to make this Packers final roster, to be one of the starters, to be, the best that they can be. And so they can't really control what Aaron Rodgers does. Obviously, that's, sort of up to him and the Packers. They're trying to figure things out. They can only control what they can control. And, the rest is up to Aaron Rodgers. It's up to the Packers. And so they're just sort of going to wait and see, just as us Packers fans are sitting around here waiting and seeing, what's going to happen with Rodgers. We're sort of in a similar boat, it seems, to the Packers players. At least that's what Davante Adams sort of seems to be saying. Then he goes on to talk about Jordan Love. Of course, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come in and start, it's likely it's Jordan Love. We have added a few other quarterbacks, Ben Kurt, Blake Bortles. I think the other guy's name, something Dolgala. I can't remember his name right now off the bat. But we have lots of other quarterbacks, but it seems that Jordan Love, of course, with the Packers using their first-round pick on him about a year or so ago, he probably would be the guy, potentially. It's most likely, I would assume. So this is what he had to say on Jordan Love, sort of what he's seen from him so far. He said, "Well, it's really, really early," he said. "We've seen some progress, but obviously, when you get into live action and do a little more training camp stuff, you'll be able to further evaluate that. But I like what I see from him so far. He's shown that he's locked in and ready to assume whatever role that he has to and go out there and play. So I'm looking forward to seeing him." And that sort of seems similar to what Matt LaFleur was saying about Jordan Love, the fact that he is focused, he is locked in, he's doing the best that he can with the situation that he's in right here. And obviously, if you're Jordan Love, it's sort of an interesting situation to be in, because obviously if you're in the NFL, if you're a quarterback, you want to be the starter. And so it is, I think, a good opportunity for him if Rodgers doesn't, come back next season. Obviously, Jordan Love, it is a huge opportunity, and if he can come in and sort of show people that he has what it takes, the sky is the limit for Jordan Love, sort of starting off his career here. Potentially this year, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't show, maybe a year later, maybe a couple of years, who knows, maybe his future is here in Green Bay. Because if we don't have Aaron Rodgers, obviously, I'm hoping and I'm praying that Jordan Love, has the talent, has the ability to carry this Packers team pretty far, which I'm not exactly sure. We haven't really seen too much from him, as I said, from like live action. We'll hopefully just see him in the preseason this year, which should give us maybe a better idea of how he's actually going to look with a full game setting basically. And then the last thing Davante Adams sort of talked about in this interview was about his contract situation. Of course, right now Davante is in his final year in 2021 of the 4-year deal that he signed with the Green Bay Packers, and so after this year, if the Packers were not to re-sign him to an extension, he would be an unrestricted free agent. And so you would think the Packers, are going to want to re-sign Davante Adams because he's one of the crucial parts of this Packers team. But of course, you do have the fact that if Aaron Rodgers doesn't return, does that sway Davante Adams away from the Packers? Would that make him more likely to enter free agency? I would say it would. I would hope to say that Davante would stay regardless, but at the same time, if Jordan Love isn't what people, sort of hope he is, and Davante Adams is there, maybe he does say, okay, I'm going to find another team to go to. I wouldn't fault him necessarily for that. I hope he comes back, but at the same time, it has to affect his decision making at least a little bit. So they asked him about it. They sort of asked, does it affect, whether Rodgers returns or not, and sort of a little more about that. He said that'll play into it, but there's been talks, just talks. But we haven't really done anything or talked about anything that's worth mentioning, he said. It's kind of just been the beginning stage of talking, and we'll figure out what happens. Hopefully something gets figured out, but I'm just there to play ball either way. That stuff will take care of itself eventually. So it seems that Davante Adams isn't too worried. It looks like they have started talks, but nothing really has gone down so far up to this point. And so he's going to play out this season, sort of see what happens, and maybe, if Rodgers comes back, maybe the deal gets done quicker. If he doesn't, maybe it takes longer. I don't exactly know. It's a little bit of speculation there at this point with his contract extension, but I, of course, as a Packers fan, hope that Davante Adams does sign this extension, because if we were to somehow lose Aaron Rodgers, if he didn't come back this season, which would be very unfortunate, be very, very sad, and if Davante Adams after this season were to say, I'm out of here, that would be pretty sad to lose probably the two best players on this Packers offense, on this Packers team. It would definitely be pretty sad to be a Packers fan at that point. But we'll have to wait and see. Crossing our fingers. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers and the Packers figure it out, as I've been hoping, as lots of you guys have been hoping as well. That's all I wanted to break down in today's video regarding this Davante Adams interview. So I appreciate all you guys who have been watching. And if you guys haven't subscribed, you want to see more Packers content, hit that little subscribe button down below and turn on those notifications so that way, anytime news comes out, when I put it out on this channel, you guys get a video sent to you right away, right when the video gets made. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.